The hit CBS drama Blue Bloods is about to celebrate a big milestone. The series will air its 150th episode this Friday. Thank you very much. It follows the lives of 4 generations of New York City police officers. Blue Bloods was recently renewed for an 8th season. TV legend, you're a legend, Tom Selleck, portrays New York City Police Commissioner Frank Reagan. Bridget Moynahan plays Selleck's daughter, Erin. She's an assistant district attorney. And Will Estes is Jamie. He's the youngest member of the family who graduated from Harvard Law School and became a cop. On Friday night's episode, the Reagan family discusses life after retirement.
What are you going to do when you retire from 1PP, Dad?
Just retire.
Bad chance.
He wouldn't last a week.
Come on, isn't there something you always secretly wanted to do?
There is.
What?
Operative word, secretly.
I love my second career,
Yeah? What's your new career?
being patriarch of this family.
What exactly does that entail?
Don't encourage him.
Using my vast experience and accrued wisdom to point out where you all are falling short.
Gosh, I love those dinner scenes. We're pleased to welcome Tom Selleck, Bridget Moynahan, and Will Estes to Studio 57. Congratulations, guys. You've been picked up for an 8th season, so I think this is working. Will, let's start with you, because everybody always says it's the chemistry. We all get along so well, and I do think that's true. But what do you think the magic is of the past 7 seasons for you?
I think, it started with a great script. I think it always starts with a great story.
True.
And then, it sort of clicked from the beginning. One of the first scenes that we shot was the family dinner scene. It was like,
In the pilot.
In the pilot. You guys have all been family your whole lives, and action, and something about it worked, I guess.
That was a little scary because we
Why?
had no relationship. We just kind of said, how do you do? And sat down to family dinner.
And that's called acting.
It's also called good scripts.
Yeah, as you said, Will, it's the writing. But the family dinners, I'm always fascinated by that, because when I was a kid, we ate dinner as a family, but people don't do that now. Do you think people like it so much because they do it and it resonates, or they don't do it and they want to?
I think both. I think some had it and don't anymore. Some never had it and wish they did. And I think mostly in our culture it doesn't happen anymore. Although, Bridget, what were you saying?
I heard from a few people who have started having family dinner on Friday nights so they can roll right into Blue Bloods. So they kind of make it an event.
Have their own and then watch.
Yeah, I should point out family dinners are not the Waltons. Our best ones, and oddly enough, I think our most emotional ones are when we fight.
What do they do for the show?
They're not a recap of what the show has transpired in, because it's usually in the 3rd act, but the audience, it provides the audience with a secret. They know what Will's done and Bridget's done during the show, or I've done, and what we've been going through. So when a subject comes up, they're holding a little bit of a private knowledge of that's not going to go very well. And I really do think that's, in Magnum it was, he had a narration he always shared with the audience, a private conversation. I think those things are very useful.
Bridget, for you, what do you think is the challenge going into an 8th season? I mean, how do you keep it new?
And relevant, yeah.
Well, I think I have noticed that the writing has gotten better year after year. So we're very thankful and feel blessed about that, because after 7 years, it could get a little stale, but luckily we have a bunch of writers and people who really care about the show who keep coming up with really smart ideas and storylines.
Which is good, because we're about to go eat for 8 hours with the same food in front of us.
Bridget, you told somebody you'd rather be your age now than 26.
Yes.
Because?
Well, what is your age now? Do you mind saying?
I found out I'm 45. I was surprised to hear that in the interview, but I'm 45, and I just think I'm calmer and more confident, feel more grounded, and a lot of the things that really got me worked up or worried as a younger person just kind of rolls right off.
That's true.
So I'd much rather be.
Bridget's one of the main motivators keeping the show moving on those long days. She's like, let's get it together, people.
She also is the most prone to get a little goofy after about 6
4
hours.
o'clock, I lose it. I have giggle fast and it's done.
In front of the same food.
That's why you rush us.
Do you think, when you think of Blue Bloods and Tom Selleck and Magnum P.I., has Blue Bloods been on longer than Magnum P.I. yet? I can't remember.
No.
You, Mr. Legend.
But we're approaching. We will have, as of this show we're doing right now, that's 155. And next year, 9 shows in. I feel a little funny about that.
How so?
It's such an important
Magnum was such an important.
thing in my life. You know, and I consider this equally as much of a gift. So maybe we ought to tie. I don't know, but I think we all want to work. So yeah,
We're not going to tie.
I know, Will,
You're going straight through it.
Yeah.
you're still enjoying it, aren't you, Will? 8 seasons in? Because after a while, normally when you hit this point, people are going, okay, I don't want to be identified as this character any longer. It's time to move on. You're not thinking that.
No, I don't think so. I think it's what Bridget said, and I think Tom would concur. The writing stays good, and I think, you know, we want to be here and tell the story. The show's resonated with people for, you know, some of the reasons we've talked about, and I think there's more stories to be told. So I'm very happy to be
if
here.
a show's if a character-driven show,
Yeah.
The characters they're allowed to grow and change, and a similar story for Will's character now would be so different than the first year.
Does the actor influence that growth in terms of how the character
think
changes?
so. I mean, no matter how much you're pretending you're someone else, you're still using what we call your own instrument. And I think
commissioner's a
your
little-
notes reflect the character often and your sensibilities.
The commissioner's a little flawed, though, Tom.
Yes, he is.
You got some issues.
He takes out
That's what makes
a lot of
Yeah,
his
that's-
problems, the weight of 35,000 lives on his shoulder, on his people at work. He has a pretty good double standard with the family. His sons, he absolutely is an absolute hard ass, can you say that on TV?
Yeah.
About showing any favoritism, and he's always hitting his daughter up for favors from the DA's office, so that's not very consistent.
That's good when you're
Family
commissioner. Family business indeed. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Great to see you.
We like success on CBS. The 150th episode of Blue Bloods airs this Friday at 10, 9 Central, right here on
CBS.
CBS.